Good evening and welcome everybody to the Jane Mackenzie Live 365 Healthy by Choice Miracle Medicines, where we have conversations about health and we really knuckle down and get to root causes of disease, and we validate risk factors and we realign the body. Always using food state, plant-based, nature-made, quantum-based nutrients, mainly plant-based, some of them also minerals. So we've spent a lot of time speaking about the plant-based food state nutrients, and I'm referring to our beautiful medicinal mushrooms. I'm referring to our algae, the blue-green algae, chlorellus, the spirulinas. I'm referring to the raw jellies, the propolis, the pollens, the reishi mushrooms, cordyceps, lion's mane, maitake, shiitake, chaga, all the products that are above the everyday milk, green juices, meat, dairy, and salads. All very important for us. But we need to start focusing now, apart from the nutrient value in terms of proteins and long-chain sugars and vitamins and phytosterols, etc., and look specifically at the role of minerals. So the next series of weekly talks, I'm going to be speaking about the role of minerals in particular. And there's a very important reason for that. If we understand science and physics and we go back to our classrooms, we will remember that we studied protons and neutrons and electrons, and in the middle of a molecule or an atom is a proton and a neutron, and the proton's a plus and the neutron's neutral, and then in orbit around the proton and the neutron are electrons, and they are negatively charged. They never touch. They don't touch other molecules or atoms. They're independent and all working in harmony, but not touching. So, for example, if you're sitting on a chair now, you're not actually touching the chair. Okay, so it's very important that there's an electromagnetic charge, a field between all the molecules and atoms, single atoms, so that we can build up a resonance field in our body, that we can build up a charge. So we did those experiments where we got a beaker and we put two metal electrodes in the beaker. The beaker had a solution. The solution was filled with minerals, sodium and chloride, for example, and then there were electrical wires leading to a light bulb from each of the electrodes. And as we added minerals to that solution, the electrodes became charged and the light bulb came on. Okay, that's exactly what happens with us as humans. So we want to make sure, before even the proteins, before even the long-chain sugars, before even the fats, the beautiful flaxseed oil and everything we've talked about so many times, before that, we need minerals. It's about the minerals. Now, I've been talking about minerals since I started way back in the beginning, when I really studied, knuckled down and understood farming. Okay, biodynamic farming. So I was luckily trained by one of the gurus at the time, and I went through all the Steiner books, and I understood not only biodynamic but organic, permaculture, cruci, and I saw that the biodynamic farming formed kind of an umbrella over all the other farming methods, because the very different specific thing about biodynamic farming is that it takes, well, it's also looking at the four kingdoms and the humans in an interconnected way, but included in that is the cosmos. So the sun and the planets form an arc over the earth every single day, and the alignment of the planets and the sun has a direct effect on what's going to grow, what's not going to grow, our seasons, our winter, our summer. And the quality of the soil is absolutely critical. So if your plants are getting eaten by bugs or getting diseases, you know there's something wrong with the soil. You don't get out the pesticide gun and spray, you know, while you've got your uniform on and your fog mask, etc., etc. That's just I don't know, I suppose symptomatic treatment for plants again at the end of the day. So we've got to get back to the soil. You know, how's the compost? Is it the rich humus black gold compost, full of the remedies from the biodynamic remedies and the herbal products that are going to attract a high electromagnetic field? Is it has it got Ormus in the soil? Have we got spirulina in the soil? Have we got kelp in the soil? Effective microorganisms. So these are all essential things for the soil. Does the soil drain? Is it too clayey? So I learned about minerals from the biodynamic farming, and I saw the difference in plants when we grew plants in a soil that was, apart from the compost and everything, but nutrient dense, and versus soil that was stony and rocky and no compost, of course, but very low minerals. You can see unbelievable spinach, unbelievable kale, really high shining leaves. You can feel the life force, because this is the word we have to talk about. We've got to talk about life force, otherwise we've lost it all. You know, we're just not on the button at all here. So, you know, I saw all that, and I really researched as a pharmacist and in health, you know, the nutrient and the mineral content of our food in particular over the last 50, 70 years, for example. At one stage, if you ate an apple in, I don't know, let's say 1970, and you ate that same apple, you know, in 1999, you needed to eat 25 more apples to get the same nutrient mineral content. And now in 2021, well, I mean, I didn't follow that train of research, but imagine how many apples we probably have to eat a box right now to get the same mineral content as you got in 1970. So what are the huge health risks? Apart from not being charged, not being physically charged, you can trace every single disease back to a deficiency in minerals. I'm talking about the metal minerals and the trace metal minerals. So we're talking about the macro minerals, the calcium, magnesium, potassium. We're talking about iodine. We're talking about all the periodic table of elements and minerals. We're talking about then also copper and boron and zinc and selenium, and all these minerals that are in the soil, should be in the plants, and should be in a very high quantity in ourselves to ward off infections and boost our immunity. So obviously that kind of research, you can see every single disease is related to a deficiency in minerals somewhere along the line, every single one of them. And that's tragic. That was tragic for me. You know, it's got 15, 20 years ago already. I could feel the importance of, first of all, growing my own food. If I eat a spinach leaf or a carrot, I want to eat one that's got the maximum nutrients and mineral content, because that's what I'm eating. I'm eating life force. I'm eating minerals. I'm eating electrons. And since then, in any case, I've had my own vegetable gardens, biodynamic veggie gardens. And I've taught many people how to farm, how to lay their beds out, how to grow their veggies. If anyone's interested, please let me know, because we can actually do a whole webinar on this. It's as easy as that. So I've got loads of vegetable patches where I live, and it's also nice from that point of view, in that you don't have the heavy metal minerals in the pesticides and the chemicals and the insecticides, fungicides, etc., sprayed all over your food and then entering into your body and causing destruction. The brain, the heart, the organs, the tissues, the cells, the systems, the skeleton, everywhere, it just causes destruction. And last week I spoke about some case studies with people. The one lady had paralysis in the gut from aluminium, arsenic, and a whole host of heavy metal minerals. So, you know, everything in moderation as well. You know, we need iron, but not too much. we need copper, but not too much, but not too little. So let's investigate all of this and put all the pieces together, and then also find beautiful sources of these minerals, organic sources, nature-made, food state, nutrient-dense options to load our bodies full of these minerals to ward off infection and boost our immunity, and keep the scalar wave of the body intact, because at the end of the day, we are scalar beings, and we need to keep the spiral intact and throw off the toxic metal minerals, and hold on to and absorb. Absorption being critical, because if the colon is stuck, fermented, blocked, you're not going to get mineral absorption. That's where the most minerals are absorbed, from the colon. So, we get back to that gastrointestinal tract, which we spoke about last week in depth, where we need it to be operating optimally. It's almost like a car where some of the pipes are blocked, the radiator's blocked, the filter's blocked, and the car's choking, and you're trying to drive a long distance, and you're just not going to get there, because there's going to be breakdowns all along the way. We see that in diseases of the gut, and then of course diseases of the brain too, because the gut and the brain are totally linked. I mean, we see people every day like this. So sticking to our topic here, we're wanting to have a look at the best sources of minerals and make sure that they're going to get absorbed. So as I said, we're going to have a series on minerals, and I'm going to really show you, learn more myself, learn from you, as to how we can really safeguard this because of the declining content in our food. Obviously, there are going to be beneficial metal minerals in the cosmic dust that falls on a day-to-day basis. So we can, obviously, we're getting some from outside as well, from the sun, from the atmosphere. And remember also, very importantly, that our body is only going to really absorb minerals and foods and calcium, for example, from plants, because that is the food chain. So we don't go and eat soil and hope that we're going to absorb the calcium from there. We need the plant to shift the organic form of calcium into the inorganic form of calcium into the organic form inside the plant, where we can eat it. You see, so you're gonna throw rock dust, the zeolite, the rock dust over the soil. You're gonna throw the kelp. We will absorb, but never mind kelp, and the other nutritional natural nutrients for the soil into the soil, and the plant and the wheat and the lettuce and the kale will then transform that into the form that we can readily eat and absorb. Because we eat out of the soil, we're going to cause calcification, all right, and calcium deposits not only on the bones, in the tissues and all over, and the body will then not function properly. It's so important also to make sure that you're eating along your food chain. And calcium, it's one of the most expensive probably lies ever, because calcium is limestone. Limestone is cheap. You just go and pick it up. And look what they charge for calcium tablets and things. And then they adjust it in the labs as a gluconate form and a carbonate form and a this form and a that form, and gets patented and so on. And really, honestly, at the end of the day, so we also don't want to go into that, because this is really our conversations on health, and I just do need to point out certain things to you to be very, very aware. Please read the back of your the bottles, because magnesium too must come from plants. Can't take it out of the soil, but we're able to metabolize it. And by the way, if you want calcium, eat magnesium, because magnesium is the precursor to calcium, and the body will make calcium out of magnesium. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about raw cacao. It's the plant with the highest amount of magnesium on the planet. That's why we crave chocolate. That's why we go for chocolate. We want to calm down a bit. We want the magnesium, but we also want all the other antioxidants and minerals that are in a raw cacao, for example. So the problem is then that you crave the chocolate and then you eat the sugar and all the rancid oil. Then you will get it breaking out in the skin, you know, like literally the next day. That's how toxic it is. But of course, we make our own, and we get our double boiler and we boil it gently, and we put the cocoa butter in and the coconut oil and the raw cacao and a little bit of honey and our nuts and our goji berries and our little bit of mint flavoring or whatever we want to do, or our orange zest, and we make our own chocolates, which are little mineral bombs, basically mineral nutrient little bombs that guilt-free, of course. You know, that was where I started with when I had my young children, and then we ended up with the stress defense shield. I know you can't see it so well with this background, but I'm just playing with the background again. So there's our stress defense shield, which you all really know about. And again, just to say, it's not about the quantity of food, it's about the quality of food. Okay, so I think with that as a long introduction, I'm going to speak about also the founding of 365 Healthy by Choice, because I founded this company on nutrient-dense food, but in particularly Ormus Gold. So we're going to focus on gold today, as advertised, and you know, what's the big value of gold, where to get it, what's the highest frequency gold available on the planet right now, and how gold is important to nourish us and detoxify us and to charge the battery. So many times you will see, you go and Google minerals for the body and stuff, and you will see nutrients that will say it's got copper, it's got iron, it's got calcium, it's got magnesium, potassium, etc., right? Where does it say and gold? Why is gold not listed? It's just incredible. I mean, it is the highest detoxifying element on the planet, is the highest nourishing element on the planet, where every single cell needs it inside the cell and also interstitially as well. It keeps the zeta potential, it keeps the cells apart, it keeps the charge, so the electrons don't touch. The minute the electrons are touching, the charge is flat, the body's flat, the cells are flat. And you've seen that many, many times in my slides of the blood, where we look at the sticky blood, where the blood's all lost its charge, the body's lost its charge, there's adrenal fatigue, and the electrons are just moving so slowly, if at all, and there's no oxygen, inflammation, and the host is diseased. Same as a plant, diseased. So we need this gold to come in and charge the body, detox the body, and nourish the body. Okay, so I came across this amazing substance called Ormus Gold, which you all know about very, very well. And I just want to show we've got the two, hard to see. I haven't really mastered this part, but maybe the further away. Ah, there we go. Right, so we've got the 350 ml and the 250 ml. Why is it in a silver paper? So it's in silver paper because it is the most intensely electron dense substance on the planet. Its frequency is way higher than yours, way higher than yours. So we've talked before about the Bova scale, we've talked about Armstrong, we've talked about frequencies for optimal health, frequencies for maximized health, and frequencies, from what I've read, that operate between visible and invisible. So I'm going to just speak about that a little bit. Ron Hudson is the guy who wrote a lot and found Ormus Gold on his farm. Lynn McTaggart, The Field, and her other books as well, she talks a lot about Ormus Gold, and it is literally a scientific physics discussion and research on Ormus Gold. So it's got the tin foil on it to keep the electrons in, right? We make it, it works, it will come through our skin, and we will have a detox reaction just by making it, literally. And it's a very special alchemical process, and involves lots of washing and all sorts of stuff, and then we get the pure Ormus Gold out. Now, if we measure on the Bova scale dairy, raw dairy and green juice, for example, we will get a reading of 6,000. If we measure the medicinal mushrooms, the spirulinas, the pollens, the blue-green algae, the chagas, the lion's mane, cordyceps, etc., organic sprouts, organic nuts and fruits, we will get about 9,000 frequency, 9,000 Armstrong on the Bova scale. If you go to a sacred site, you'll get about 11 to 15,000. The wise sages of the world also operated at that type of a frequency. So my question to you is, what do you think the frequency of the Ormus gold is at? So if anyone can give me the frequency, you will get a free bottle. How's that? You will get a free bottle. So if anybody can give me that frequency, and I have mentioned it before on my various training webinars. So there's a bottle out there for anyone who's got it. It is an insane frequency. And it literally borders between visible and invisible. So it's showing us that if we get to that very high frequency, we will go into the invisible. How can I physically demonstrate this to you? If you get the Ormus gold powder, right, this is the liquid. If you get the Ormus gold powder, you put it in a metal spoon and you put a burner underneath it. It reaches a temperature where the Ormus gold disappears off the spoon. Right, you cannot see it. When you take the burner away and the spoon cools down, the Ormus gold reappears. No jokes. You can try it yourself. You can come and get some powder from me and you can try it yourself. You can read about it. So this is a really special substance. And also in my research, we are made from Ormus gold. So in the morphogenic field, which is basically certainly not human physical form, not that space at all. This is third dimensional Earth, right? We're talking about the morphogenic cosmic universal field, right? We're not there in this form. We are there in electromagnetic field form, right? That is where Ormus gold, it's the female part that makes us. So let's leave it like that. I'll give you some more information on that, but it's a highly, highly high vibrational product. It is levitational, so it works anti-gravity. So many things today are gravitational, especially the heavy metal minerals and all the toxins and the chemicals and the processed foods and everything. Very gravitational, crystalline. That's why bodies start crystallizing and everything drops down because the gravitational pull down, right, or push down, however you want to look at it. Ormus gold rises up. It's levitational. So that is spring water is loaded with, it's my bottle of spring water. So I'll have about 2 or 3 of these a day with naturally occurring Ormus gold inside it. This is one of the most revered water substances ever because it's nature made. When the water has gone through the rocks and everything and it has the right frequency, it will rise up against gravity and come out at the top of a hill and then trickle down. That is levitational. That is anti-gravity. So a spring water is completely different to a mineral water that's blasted out of the ground. You understand that point? It's blasted out. It's not ready. It's not even close to spring water. We call our spring water miracle medicine miracle spring water because it is. It will detoxify your skin. You just put it on. Every morning when I walk, I put spring water in my eyes. I put Ormus gold in my eyes. All right, and I see very clearly. And it's just a habit and a routine, but I do that. I wash my eyes in the morning with spring water and Ormus gold. And if you put it on your face, you will actually you will exfoliate. And literally the skin comes off just beautifully. It's gorgeous. So that's what Ormus does. Ormus gold is the substance in the tree sap that allows the minerals and the water from the roots of a tree to rise up the huge long trunk to the very top of the tree. It's the Ormus gold. And here we have, I just need to get the plug. Hold on a second. All right, I'm back. Okay, we beat it. We plugged in, just like us. That's what we do in our clinic. We quickly plug people in so that they can get a charge and start getting well and get the pain and the inflammation out and the nourishment and everything happening in the cells. It's the same thing. It's electromagnetic charge. It's what we do when our batteries run out. We plug it in. We get the electron flow. We get the mineral content right. Okay. So I was telling you, right, the tree sap. So what do you think Jane at 365 did? She got the DMSO, and DMSO is tree sap. It is loaded with Ormus. So Ormus Gold is the flagship of this company. It is streets ahead of any other company. And in fact, at the health pharmacy, natural pharmacy where I work, I'm the local pharmacist there, the manager told the staff that the 365 Healthy by Choice range raises the bar. And it's because we are operating at such a different frequency, a different vibration, and also it's totally holistic. We're not shifting bottles. So it's an Ormus Gold and a DMSO and some oxygen, and then we get potentiation. All right, and we get a result, and we get a result quickly. Why? Because I'm charging the body. Simple. You can come and line your desk up here with I don't care how many health products. Inexpensive, expensive, I don't care how many. But if you haven't got the charge of the body right, if the cell membrane potential is not maximized, you can do things and, well, you can consume these things and they're going to just pass through you because you're not going to be able to absorb or digest or metabolize or utilize, or the cell will not take the oxygen and the food in. It won't clean the waste out, and well, you just, you're not going to get there. So it's not brain surgery. It's not a secret. I mean, this is how we fix people and ourselves. Okay, the people that are contracting infections right now, it's how we fix them straight away. No messing around. So getting back to the minerals, right? Ormus Gold, we make it alchemically. It's not in the soil, very little. It's really not in the plants anymore either. It's not, if you go and Google minerals for health, you will not see gold in the products. Simple. So we got to bring it in. Okay, and we all know gold is very auspicious metal. I'm just giving you two direct sources of gold. All right, and then every single product of mine has got the Ormus Gold on the top, on the label. Even the microbiome reset, right? This is Ormus. It is Ormus in here, and I've seen it underneath the microscope with the little highly beneficial essential microorganisms, the bacteria, the fungi, the yeast, etc. So anything nature made, natural, grown without pesticides, chemicals, etc., grown organically, biodynamically, etc., is in an Ormus state naturally. So even our stress defense shield that I spoke about earlier, that I started with, there's Ormus Gold here because these products contain Ormus. They're at that 9,000 frequency on the Bovis scale. You see, so again, you don't have to have, mouthfuls of this. Just 2 capsules, 4 capsules, depending on your size a day, and you've got massive potentiation, because potentiation is 1 + 1 is 3, 3 + 3 is 9. 30 + 30 is how much? And anyone can give me that answer. You'll get a free bottle of stress defense shield. Okay. Okay, so we've seen the sources of Ormus Gold, and I mentioned to you also spring water. And just now I'm going to pour the Ormus Gold, and I'm going to show you. Other things that have got Ormus Gold would be our flaxseed, because it's also nature-made, quantum state, cold-pressed, unaltered, the DNA intact, the intelligence of the plant intact. able to work as medicine in the body and has got Ormus gold in it too. So, those are, that is highly beneficial. Ormus gold, it's gold for the body. And as I said to you, it creates that charge, the electron charge, electromagnetic field that we are and that we need to hold on to all the time. If you are living on a water cross with geopathic stress or a Hartmann cross or something like that, you are winding yourself up in the wrong magnetic field, the wrong direction. And to restore that, you need to move to earth that's not destroyed by geopathic stress or water crosses and so on, and reset your magnetic field. These products do this. So Ormus gold is specific, and you can read about this in Lynn McTaggart, for allowing the DNA to restructure. So the beautiful DNA strand that you see around my logo, right, needs to be perfect. Otherwise, there's disease. So the Ormus gold allows the unraveling of the DNA strand and then the winding up again. So it gives a second chance to wind properly. And then, of course, if we've got the replica RNA DNA there, then we are certain of the nuclear protein building blocks so that we don't get any snips. So every single DNA strand is perfect according to the human genome structure. Adenine and guanine, cytosine, thymine, etc. Enough uracil for the mRNA to produce this proper structured gene sequence to make the human genome. And this is, it's, of course, that's my game. That's what we're talking about, because we're talking anti-aging, we're talking longevity, we're talking consciousness, we're talking life force, we're talking energy. So we want to get the daily essentials in, but we also want to make sure that the battery is charged. The first thing we do with our quantum device on the quantum software is we charge the battery. The first thing we do in our intravenous oxygen clinics, we charge that battery, and you can physically see the body changing. The face is not the same 3 hours later. It is full of life force. The blood is flowing. There's charge. If I compare the blood before and after a 3-hour drip with oxygen, right, to detox, allowing the body to operate properly, and we use the DMSO, the Ormus gold and the DMSO orally, and we also use Ormus gold itself orally as well on the drip. And then you will see a metamorphosis that you would not see walking out of any other hospital in 3 hours. I can give you that in writing. That's just why it's been so amazing to experience this, and I'm humbly grateful. And I said before, thank you to all of you who have, inspired me and, got me to the point where I've, manifested many of these, the clinic, and I think the combinations of the products and being able to, in a very natural, clear space, heal people, help them heal. And, today, it was just awesome. There was 2 ladies came back, and the one elderly lady, she came in, she was virtually crippled when she came in. It was a month ago. She was absolutely stooped over. She wasn't really even interacting with me. Her daughter who's younger, brought her in to see me. And these 2 knuckled down. They did our resets. They did the Ormus gold. They did the tree sap DMSO. They did the microbiome. They did the flaxseed oil. They did the replica RNA DNA. And they walked in today, well, you know what, unrecognizable. And it's quite embarrassing for me, actually, because, you just don't expect it. And here was this lady, she lost 10 kilograms. She took the weight completely off her hips and her knees and her joints. She was sleeping. Her battery was charged. She was telling me stories. Her eyes were white and bright. Her skin was absolutely beautiful. And you know what can I say? They took obviously the oxygen as well, and all credit to her, all credit to her. And you just wait, because 1, 2, 3 months, you will see. I would say 99% of the time we get basically all the problems away. That we can obviously on a we're talking physical now, because Ormus Gold works also on a consciousness level. So it will cross the blood-brain barrier immediately, and you feel a sense of calm, and it's going to detox. It just scavenges all the heavy metals, the organisms, the parasites, clears the plaque, etc. This is the one and all. So if there's a one and all that you wanted to take, it would be this, the Ormus Gold. It does not going to do what an oil is going to do. It's not going to bring in microbes, but it's going to encourage the body to operate properly. So that's what the Ormus Gold does. You see, we're restructuring the DNA right inside the nucleus of every single cell, where the split happens when the new cells are formed, and it's happening, at rapid rate. So it's just amazing product. I take it every single day of my life. It's healed the base of my one tooth. The dentine grew again. So I'm also a walking example of it all, and very good for obviously for teeth, for bones and skin and nails and hair and everything, all diseases. Okay, it was also used in the bubonic plague. So the people now that are ill, 6 tablespoons a day. For two days, you're done and dusted. There are no more symptoms. You're not nauseous, nothing. And then you can bring it down to sort of 3 a day. That would be literally on its own. I like to, of course, bring in the bells and whistles with the Ormus Gold. I like the microbiome reset. I like iodine. I like the peri-immune defense. And I like the drops in the DMSO, because I don't want to leave any stone unturned. And I want to make sure that I drive that toxin out that's causing it. So let's have some Ormus. I want to show you. We do shake it, and then you would open up the top. You would take the tin foil away just for this moment. When you pour, you can use the cap, and you can pour. I would say on a maintenance, you can put 2 capfuls in. Why am I using the cap? And why am I not using a metal spoon? Because of this is gold, but it's liquid gold, silver, copper, nickel, iridium, palladium, rhodium, osmium, all the platinum precious metal minerals. Okay, and it's in the liquid form. So if I bring a metal spoon here, we're going to get some of the metals and the gold jumping out and back into the solid gold form, which we don't want, because the maximum healing gold is in Ormus. And by the way, there is more Ormus gold on the planet than there is natural gold in the earth. Just to tell you. So Ormus gold you will get at the sea, along the seashore. You will get it in a forest when it's been raining. That's where you'll get the Ormus, and obviously eating plants that are grown in the forest. Medicinal mushrooms, full of it. So I've got my Ormus gold in the glass. All right, you see it's lovely and liquid. And then I'm going to take the spring water. The nice thing about the Ormus gold is you're not worrying about oxidants and antioxidants, and so you can fill your glass as full as you want it, and then you have this most unbelievable liquid. Depending on how much water you put in, you might taste a little bit of, might have a slightly salty taste, but actually it should be just a neutral, almost sweet water. So then you've got your dilution correct. Okay, so everything is about dilution. Maintenance dose of the Ormus gold, probably a tablespoon a day for most people. And then as a treatment, you can literally do a tablespoon every hour and a half, and just move through the day if you get sick. Okay. So that's it. But as I said to you, we treat holistically the body, and we treat holistically with herbs and with Ormus and with DMSO and with oxygen and with, you know, superfoods. You get the best result, and you get it so quickly. And you know, that same lady I was speaking about, her gallbladder issue is gone. One gallbladder flush, and the products. The gallbladder is in the green. The heavy metals are virtually all disappeared. This is 1 month. She knuckled down. You know, the digestion, absorption are improving. The liver's cleared. The cardiovascular, she had stroke volume. She had thick blood. She had, you know, vessel elasticity problems. Everything's moving towards the green. Hormones. Her immunity's boosted, and so on. The kidneys functioning properly, all the organs of detoxification. So it would be gut, kidneys, lung, liver, and skin. All of them have optimized. We nearly maximized, but they've all optimized. So it's magic. Her body did it, she did it. And each day she told me that she felt better. She was more inclined to take the product. So they're on their next month now, where we've reset, they're restoring and rebuilding cells, tissues, organs, and functioning systems, and then they will restore. So you know, this is really, really the importance of gold. I think it's why it's one of the most revered metals. It has the highest frequency. Has anybody given me any answers there? No direct answers yet. So if anybody remembers or wants to even text me the frequency of the Ormus gold, first come, first serve. Whoever texts me or writes down here the frequency of Ormus gold will get a free bottle. And then there's also the stress defense shield bottle, also for the first person to answer that question. So are there any other questions? I think we've covered this. It's you know, real. Again, I'm humbled, I'm grateful to be able to, first of all, as a pharmacist, make a product like this, know what I'm doing, and then to achieve, you know, maximized health. So we want to cheers to that. Okay, furthermore, and I just want to squeeze this in a bit as well. I see we've got a few minutes. You have a look, and this is what taught me about Ormus gold as well. I put it in the soil, in the veggies, and I grew enormous spinach, more than before. When I never used the Ormus gold. So if you go and research, and there are lots of pictures, and I've shown them before, the training from 2020, where you look at the size of oranges and lemons, and each generation gets bigger. And the nutrient content gets higher, which indicates that there's more extraction from the soil because of the Ormus there, because of the electromagnetic field of the plant. It's able to absorb more and metabolize more and produce, photosynthesize better and produce more glucose, which is an indication of the plant and the energy of the plant, which is basically what we're going to be eating when we eat plants. So you must see the effect on plants. You must see the effect on animals. We feed the Ormus to our dogs, our chickens, and obviously the garden too. So I've got a lemon tree. It's well over 30 years. It's laden with fruit every single year. And when I take the sap from the lemon, the juice, and I put it on the reflectometer, the Brix meter, refractometer, and we put some on the lens and we look through, the Brix meter reading for the lemons is 12, which is up maximized reading. That lemon juice is it's an essence. It's on another level compared to a lemon from the supermarket, for example, organic or not, by the way, which is coming at a reading of 6 or 7. It's not comparable. So I learned all of this, as I said, when I did the farming. And the more you feed the trees, the plants, the seeds, the more of those, let's say celery or lettuce, when they go to seed, that seed is of a much higher frequency and produces a much better yield and a bigger, stronger plant than the generation before. So we keep the seeds. So, you know, what am I saying? I'm saying, well, you know, this is generational shift. And I've often asked the question, you know, are we the ancestors, you know, of a degenerative species, of an endangered species, you know, and how can we change the legacy we leave our children and our children's children? And I honestly believe I've, so far, you know, equipped everybody with these skills to do that. And we've got an answer here, I think. Let me just see. 25,000. Okay, Alphonse, you listen to all my training. You get a free bottle of a big 350 ml bottle of free Ormus. Okay, and the frequency that I've measured is 23,000 Armstrong on the Bova scale. And that's just 2,000 off the point where we can move between visible and invisible, just to tell you. So it's a very high vibrational space. It's very interdimensional as well. And as I said, it's working with us cosmically from the morphogenic field, the universal field. It's enabling, yeah, from a consciousness point of view, because it's working at the DNA level. So it's at the seat of our consciousness. Absolutely crucial. You know, people say to me, well, how long do I need to take Ormus? Well, I don't know. How long do you need to keep drinking water? You know, how long? I don't know. It's forever, because the shifts in you are, you know, they escalate. It's on an upward curve. It's potentiated. It's not a linear progression in your health and your consciousness and your thinking clearly and living productively. It's potentiated. So it's up to you, quite frankly. You know, how long do you want to carry on eating healthily? Well, that's also up to you. How long do you want to carry on taking a microbiome reset with live enzymes and, you know, 80 to 120 live strains of bacteria, fungi, and yeast that are nature made, that we need, that are in our cloud? It's up to you. So, you know, it's a question of, you know, what's in your shopping basket. And that's what I always say to people. What are you going to swap out? Or add to your shopping basket. And all these products are alkaline, healing, nourishing, alkalinizing, definitely detoxifying. But just to get our scalar wave perfect. Okay, so that's about, well done, Alphonse, again. And thank you all for coming in. It's always great to see you all here from around the globe. And please take the information and share. I'm going to download this now, and I will upload it and share the link. And anything that else occurs to you, please let me know. Right, so each week now, I'm going to be focusing on another mineral. Metal mineral. So this time was gold, and I talked about specifically in the Ormus form. All right, you can take. One of my clients was telling me you can take your gold and you can make a mark down your face with a gold ring, and if you get a black mark there, you need iodine. I'm sorry, iron. You need iron, just to tell you. So I think that's important as well. I think we've got another question here. Let's have a look. Okay, pleasure, everyone. Oh, nice to see you all. And I hope you all got your Black Friday orders and everybody's happy and moving forward in a good way. And we'll see you next week. Okay. Thanks for coming. Bye, everyone.